Hello everyone, welcome to Little Helpful Files. My name is Lindsay. I have been trying to record this video for a couple days, but life with kiddos, it's just crazy. So it's a little early here. Good morning. I don't know what time of day this will be when you're watching, but I'm gonna go ahead and get into my Q&A video. I had one of you that asked or recommended that I do a Q&A video, and I think it's a great idea. You guys can get to know me a little bit more, and hopefully I can maybe encourage or guide you on some things that you have questions on or that you're searching for. And I just love being able to do this type of content for you. So I do have some questions I posted on Instagram and also on YouTube. So it's just kind of a combination. I just picked a couple of the questions that were there. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so let me find my notes in here. Okay, so the first question, which I love this question, since giving your life to Christ, has life been easier or harder? And I might reference this because I did take some notes on some of these. So I would say that I wouldn't say life has been easier or harder. It's been better. So I feel that no matter what in life, you're going to face a lot of hard things. There's going to be a lot of struggles. There's going to be trials. There's going to be moments that, it just seems very challenging to get through, right? The difference though is when I was living like in the world and I was not a believer and had not been found and saved by Christ, I would break in those moments. And looking back, I was like constantly upset. I cried a lot. I just felt very helpless. And since giving my life over, I have hope. I feel hopeful in those moments. Even if I'm upset, even if they're hard, even if it seems like it's, a huge mountain to climb, I know that God is bigger, and I know that God is able, and He is capable, and He is loving, and He is willing. And I know I have to be patient sometimes through those moments. It's just a totally different way to tackle them. It is easier in the sense that I know who to put my trust in. I know where to go with those struggles and those troubles and those feelings. I bring it to the Lord. And so I really feel that the tests and the trials helps to grow and build that relationship with God and make that stronger. So in a sense, because of that, my ability to overcome them becomes easier, but it's still hard, right? Because now I just live a different life. My priorities are different. The way I see things are different. The way I view things are different. My heart is different. I don't put importance on things that I used to. And ultimately, I just want to love others. I want to see others feel that sense of peace and know that they are loved. Like, you are so loved by Jesus. You are so worthy. And I just want to be able to share that gift because there's so many people that have that void, that have that hole. I know I was like that. I could never, fulfill that emptiness. There was just a certain place of emptiness. And, it's completely changed now that, the way, like I said, that I live my life and the battles that I face, it's just completely different. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily easier or harder. I think that you're gonna always deal with the hard things. We're always gonna have struggle in this world. But the one thing is that the world does not want us to be still and quiet. If you think about it, right? It's so fast paced, it's so busy, there's so many demands. That is so important to build that relationship with God and to build the patience. So I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I just want to say that was one of the things that was amazing when I reflect back on my journey with Christ. I went through a period of time of just completely being removed from like everything, right? And I told you guys I took a year off of like social media, and it was amazing. That was what really allowed me to connect with God, to build my relationship, to strengthen in that. And now I know that even if there are times where I stray or I am weak or I fall off of like knowing that I need to pray or read the Bible or get in the Word and give it to God, like I know quickly and I can see in my life when I'm getting off path, and I know how to get back, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna kind of skip. I have some questions that are faith related. I have some questions that are budgeting related. So the next one is, why do I like using the cash envelope system? Oh my goodness. This is the whole reason that I started the YouTube channel, was to share, kind of why I do this and why I like this. So I like the cash envelope system because it is a visual way for you to see, for you to track, for you to know your means and to live within your means, right? And so I think there's a misconception of like, oh, well, you use the cash envelope system or you budget and it's so constrictive and it's, you can't do anything fun. That's not necessarily true, right? Within your means, you're going to plan for those things that you want. You don't want to make it so strict that you don't get to do anything. Like, we still do activities with the kids and all, but we make sure that's within our budget. Whereas before, without the cash envelope system, we would just swipe in that card all the time, right? And we had debt, a lot of debt. And, I think back to the financial struggles and troubles that we had, and like, it always just felt like such a weight. And I think that having the cash envelope system to actually see how much money you have to work with. Now, again, I do a blend. I've gotten to this point, but starting out, this is what we did to get ourselves back on track. This is what we did to completely turn around our circumstance, because we knew that we were going to be living paycheck to paycheck for the foreseeable future unless we changed. And again, that was something that God definitely put on my heart, that He made me feel like I needed to reevaluate the way I was living financially, spending money. I'm a shopaholic. I still love to shop. I just try to do it within our budget, within our means. And if there's something that I want that we can't afford, I save for it. I wait for it. It's not like that instant. I just have to get it the second that I want it. Sometimes waiting too, you realize that maybe you don't want that. Maybe there's something else that you want that's more important. So I love the cash envelope system. It's allowed us to save a lot of money. It's allowed us to get out of debt. And again, I think that it's really more so about like the budgeting aspect of it and like tracking what you're spending. So the one year that we were just really struggling, like we could not come up with enough cash to pay for everything. And I sat down and looked at like our budget or our expenses throughout the year, right? To reflect. We had spent over $10,000 on random stuff. Like, I couldn't even tell you what some of the charges were when I was looking at the statement. It was just like, it was kind of those purchases that like didn't really have a purpose, didn't really go into any category or bucket as far as needs. And I was like, man, like 10 grand that we just blew over. Sometimes it was like eating out too. It just depends. But when we realized that, we were like, okay, so that doesn't mean that we don't have the money. It's just we're not spending it in the proper way, right? And this question I'm going to actually throw in with this. So how did you learn about cash budgeting? So I actually learned about this through the Budget Mom. I loved watching her stuff. I don't even know how I came across it. I don't know, at one point. I can't remember if it was like YouTube or Instagram, but I came across her process of the paycheck by paycheck budgeting method, which is funny because like I don't really do that. I still do the monthly budgeting, but I just loved watching her process and learning about the cash envelopes. I did start to then watch some of like Dave Ramsey's stuff, and I just felt like, this is working for a lot of other people. Nothing else has worked for me, so I need to give this a try, which I would say relates to giving your life over to Jesus. It's the same concept, guys. You find a lot of different things and a lot of different options in the world, and none of them bring you that peace, that rest, that fulfillment. None of them bring you what you're looking for with the cash budgeting and cash envelope system. It was something that like I needed to do financially, and it really has been a game changer for us. So I'm super grateful again for finding it, and encourage everyone, to at least give it a try, especially if you haven't been able to find anything else that has worked. You can kind of customize it again and make it work for you. Like I've said, we do a blend of cashless, and I've talked about this in some of my other videos, because I do like to have some of my sinking funds and my savings that go automatically, plus our bills are automatic. So there are ways to make this work for you, to where you're not having to take out every single dollar, right, from the bank. Because I know some people don't like going to the bank as much and doing that. All right, so next up, what Bible do I use to study? So I will show you guys what I use. Again, I use the NIV. This is just because this is like what I had been given. And honestly, it's been great for me to learn and understand the Bible. So I have just the NIV. It's got my name on it. And I honestly have tried the King James version. I got a King James version because the Bible is really cool. It's like teal color with, you know, flowers, leaves on it. And I had such a hard time reading it. It was so discouraging. And so this has helped me just be able to understand. And at some point, yes, I would love to try maybe a different translation or different version. But for now, the NIV is what's working. I love it. I also have my Life Application Study Bible, which I just think is so cool. I love this leather on it. It's really pretty. But this, of course, is not something I'm gonna like bring to church with me. So I like to have this for when I'm diving in and I'm at home, and then I like to have my other Bible to be able to take with me to church, or just like bring with me in the car if I need something to do while I'm waiting on stuff or whatnot. So going into the next one, what do we do in terms of like a Bible study? So do we do family Bible studies, and how do we determine what we're reading? So right now, my husband and I do a Bible study, which we usually try to fit in like first thing in the morning. We had been doing it at night, but my daughter's been teething and staying up later, and it's been a whole process. So we switched, and now we wake up early to read the Bible. And I actually love this because my son has noticed he gets up really early, like 5 o'clock in the morning. And so he sees us reading, he sees us praying, and I think it's just such a great example to set, right? But we also then do a nighttime Bible reading with the children, and we do read like a children's Bible instead of ours. So we've done the beginner's Bible with the kids, and we've actually read through it a couple times because the stories are really like to the point, really simple, which has been great. But my son is kind of at that point where he's wanting a little bit more info on it. So we're gonna do the Adventure Bible now, and we'll start reading through some of those stories. It is a big shift because it's pretty much like a regular Bible in terms of like how detailed they get into stuff and like how long, you know, the books and the chapters are. But I think it will be good for him, you know, to be able to get a little bit more out of the stories instead of like some of them in the beginner's Bible, they're just like really kind of brushed over, I guess, quickly, which is great when, you know, you're a little kid. But yeah, as he gets older, we wanted something a little bit more. So how we determine what we're reading. So with the kids, we usually just start in Genesis and read through because it just kind of has been the way, especially with the beginner's Bible, it's just been the easy way to do it. And my son likes, you know, reading it like a book, basically. I don't know if we'll continue that with the Adventure Bible. We might change that. Not really sure yet. But as far as my husband and I and the way that we read, so together we usually pick something kind of random. We usually either something that we've heard or something that, you know, God's put on our heart, or maybe other conversations we've had with other people, and we'll kind of just pick up in different books in different places. Now my husband and I separately are reading, and we've been wanting to read through the Old Testament. So we already read through the New Testament separately, and now we're trying to read through the Old Testament. I don't really have a time frame on this because I don't like to feel pressured to hurry to read. Some chapters and some verses I take like days to read through, and I really need to sit on it, and I really need to like work through it. Others I understand, or, you know, I can go through quicker. So at this point, I think I've only read like 4 of the books of the Old Testament, but that's okay. I'm taking my time through it. And with this, I do kind of pick it at random again, whatever I'm feeling. So, you know, maybe at some point it would be good to try to do like a study guide or like a devotional. But for right now, this has been working for us, and, you know, just kind of going through, checking off which ones and where I feel led to read. It's the same way, you know, where I feel God is leading me to speak to you guys, I just kind of go with it. There might be things around me where I see like the message being repeated, or there's just something tugging in my heart and my mind. So either one is kind of what drives me and what has led us. All right, so our last question I'm going to go over is, what is your advice for someone that is wanting to start budgeting? So my biggest advice is to just start doing it. I wish I had started sooner, right? You always say that in hindsight, like I wish that I had been able to do this years ago. But I will say, you know, if you need any help, this is why this community is here. This is why there are so many people that you can reach out to for guidance, for advice, you know, especially if you don't like the budgeting side of it. But you really just have to get it started. Look at your expenses, look back over the past couple, I'd say like 3 months, look through your expenses, and look over, you know, where you think that you could be within the categories, and then you just have to know that you might need to adjust or shift or change that, you know, as you kind of start, especially as you're feeling it out, and even as you become seasoned in it, because you never know what things are going to change or shift. But I definitely think that if you have been looking for an option to help you to get out of debt, to be more financially stable, this is a really great way to start doing it. And, you know, again, you can customize it. You can make it work for you and your family and your budget and how you want to set it up, whether you want to do a monthly budget, a paycheck budget, a zero-based budget, whether you want to do cash envelope only or cash and cashless. I am always here to answer, you know, any questions that you guys may have. So of course, leave those down in the comments below. And for me, you know, and hopefully for you guys too, the biggest thing to remember is that God is in control. God provides. That's been a huge shift in my life, in understanding that it's not all on me. It's not, you know, up for me to like figure out everything and know everything. A lot of this, I have had to just give it to him and let the Lord guide us, lead us. And there has been some amazing things that have happened. There have been some hard things that have happened, but I know that it's all working towards his good. It's all for a greater purpose. And, you know, just like when I started this channel, I still can't believe I started this channel. And then like 2 weeks later is when I got in the car accident with the kids. And it was horrible. It was devastating. It was something that would have been completely like life shattering a couple years back, especially with the financial position we were in, where we did not have enough money each month, and we were like thousands of dollars in credit card debt. We were literally charging bills to our credit card because we didn't have the means in our account to pay for everything. And so that happening, we were in a much better, much more stable financial position to handle it. It still was not ideal, but we were able to tackle it and handle it. And since then, like there's just been so many things that God has come through and provided and made a way for us. And, you know, we haven't had to go into debt more because of it. And we're working towards getting out of debt, which we're going to be out of soon. I have a story for the next video that I do, which I can't wait to share with you guys. So yeah, all the glory to him. Very, very grateful for that. And this is one of the reasons why I tell you guys to trust in him, because I could have very easily shut this whole thing down and been like, you know what, I'm upset, I'm broken, I'm not doing this, I'm not putting this out there. But I felt that nudge to say, no, like you need to keep going, you need to share this, you need to share your truth, you need to, you know, just speak encouragement into others, because we all need to be able to do that for each other. We need to love one another, we need to lift each other up, we need to remind each other as the body of Christ that God is the one in control. Let's keep our eyes and focus on him, right, through all things. So I thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Hope it gave you a little bit of insight maybe into some things that you were wondering. And if you guys enjoyed this, please leave me a comment below, because maybe we can do another one of these in the future. All right, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and may God continue to bless you in all you do.